Hi y'all, and welcome back to Kimmy's Kitchen. Today we're doing something a little bit different. We are actually going to be recreating one of my favorite childhood fast food burgers, the Big Mac. And by now you probably figured out that I will make any excuse to use up my sourdough discard, so we will be making fresh hamburger buns with discard. You do not need a stand mixer for this recipe. I will say that it does make life a lot easier and a lot less work for you, especially if you have a dough hook like I do. But if you don't, if you have neither, you don't need it. You can actually just use a regular old mixing bowl and a wooden spoon. To start our dough, we want to mix 200 grams of sourdough discard with 380 grams of warm water. Make sure that your water is warm enough because when your discard comes from the fridge, it's instantly going to cool that mixture, and if it gets too cold, then when you add your yeast, it'll never activate. After this, you can add your 30 grams of granulated sugar followed by your 20 grams of active yeast. Don't mix at this point, just let the yeast stay on the top and watch for it to activate. You're gonna notice that it's gonna start to clump together as well as release this really nice like yeasty smell. After you notice that your yeast becomes nice and frothy, it's time to add your egg, as well as your 55 grams of melted unsalted butter, as well as your 20 grams of salt, which I actually mixed in to my butter, so it's easier for measuring. This is where your stand mixer and your dough hook start becoming handy. With your dough hook running on low, you want to start adding your bread flour. This recipe calls for a lot of flour, specifically 830 grams, which is literally this entire bowl, probably almost this whole bag of flour. So be prepared to use up a lot of flour in this recipe. You do not have to use bread flour. If all you have is all-purpose flour, that will work as well. The bread flour just gives it a little bit better of a texture is all. You don't want to over-flour your dough, which is why you want to slowly pour your flour in instead of all at once. Now you want to knead your dough for 5 to 7 minutes. If you're not using a mixer and you're using your hands, that is absolutely fine. You're just gonna have to knead a little longer. So I would say 10 to 12 minutes at least. You'll know that your dough is ready when you lift up your machine, or if you're doing this by hand, if the dough is tacky to the touch and not sticky, and you get somewhat of a cohesive dough ball. This is probably one of my favorite, most rewarding things about baking, is being able to make all of these things from scratch and making these recipes just that much better. We're gonna turn this dough onto a countertop. You do not have to flour the countertop because your dough should not be sticky to the touch whatsoever. You wanna make sure you have a baking tray lined with parchment paper. In order to shape each piece of dough into a burger bun, simply take each piece and pull or pinch up the sides into the middle until it forms a ball. Then roll this ball on the countertop, holding your hand in a cupping shape to seal the ball and create tension, just like this. So we actually only got 10 buns this time. I guess I made them a little bit bigger than I normally do, which is absolutely fine. The more bread, the better for me. Now what you wanna do is cover them up and let them rise for 30 minutes. While our hamburger buns are rising, it's time to make the sauce and prep our patties. The base of our sauce, like any good sauce, is mayo, followed by yellow mustard, a good amount of sweet relish, white wine vinegar, pepper, salt, garlic powder. Last but not least, and I really do think this is the secret ingredient to the Big Mac sauce, a lot of people think it has ketchup in it because of the color, but it's actually paprika that turns it that really almost like tomato-y color. How bad is it that I could literally drink this stuff? Oh my gosh, it's so good. Also, if you have the time and know you're gonna make these, say, tomorrow, this sauce tastes even better if you're able to leave it in the fridge overnight. I am using 7% lean ground beef for this recipe. I'm using 2 pounds, there's 4 of us. You can probably get away with making 1 pound if you're just making this for yourself, and then maybe have some leftover patties for lunch tomorrow. Remember that the Big Macs have 2 patties in them instead of just 1. So you don't want to make them too thick unless you are really wanting like a huge burger. We want our grill to be nice and hot, so preheating at 400 degrees is perfect. Next, we're gonna come inside and preheat our oven at 425 degrees. Let's go ahead and season these babies really quick. If you guys have seen any of my other videos, I absolutely love using this brand, Cosmos. They make a cow cover that I literally put on all beef. Last thing we have to do before we put our buns in the oven is give them a really nice little egg wash. Crack an egg, add a little bit of water, which is already in the bottom of this bowl. Let's add some of this delicious egg wash on top. And then totally optional, but since we are sticking with the Big Mac original recipe, we will be adding some toasted sesame seeds. Time to stick these bad boys in the oven. Oh my goodness, did you hear that? That was perfect timing. That was the oven letting me know that it was preheated to 425. Wow. We want to set a 15-minute cook time for these. Oh, I love that sizzle. It is going to be pretty tough for me to let you know how long to cook your patties for, since they're all going to be different thicknesses, but for the most part, I like to say 7 minutes on each side. It smells heavenly in here. Whoa, some of these came out way fluffier than others. Last step before assembly is to cut up our lettuce nice and thin and our onion really, really, really thin. I have literally never been this excited to put together a burger. Oh, this bread. I wish you guys could smell this. The time has come. Everything is cooked and baked. It is officially time to put our Big Macs together. Starting from the bottom, here we go. Our sauce. Oh my goodness. Then our lettuce. Patty number 1. These patties came out extra thick, y'all. If you make these at home, unless you have a big appetite like me, you might want to make these a little thinner. Onions, you'll notice I'm going very light on these onions. Then we're gonna do layer number 2. Sauce, lettuce, patty number 2, pickles. It's like the Leaning Tower of Pisa. And I'm gonna skip the onions on this go around, y'all. I'm sorry, I can't do it. I'm eating 1 layer of onions for y'all. And we're gonna do extra sauce on the top of the bun because why not? Bam. Not gonna lie, I am pretty proud of how this looks. Usually when I made this myself, I usually don't try so hard like to make it look aesthetically pleasing, so I am very pleased right now. If you guys try this recipe at home, please let me know how you like it. Please let me know how it compares to you really craving that Big Mac. I promise you it's gonna be worth the extra time and the extra work. Thanks for watching, y'all.